Welcome to the Lesson 4.6 lab called Favorite Books. What we're going to be doing in this lab is we're going to implement an intermediate table view features into an app that keeps track of your favorite books. So if you go out into the student resources file and you look under 4.6, the intermediate table views, there is a favorite books app that's already been created for us. So what I've done is I've saved it out into my desktop. So let me just go ahead and open that app up, and we will go ahead and run the app. So I will go ahead, click on the build the app, and see what actually happens here. Okay, the app has come up, so we have a favorite books table view where it keeps track of the list of our favorite books. If we go ahead and click on the plus button, what we have is we have a view controller. We're using a view controller for this scene. So let me just go ahead and add some information in here. Go ahead and click on save. So basically what's happening, it's going out and saving our book. If I go ahead and click on the entry, I'm able to edit it. Go ahead and click on save, and it saved my edit. So that's our current application. So let me go back into Xcode here, and let me go ahead and actually stop the application. And what I want to do next is, well, what we're going to be doing is we're going to replace the book form view controller with a table view controller. And it's going to be a static table view. We're going to know the number of rows that need to be in the table, and then we're going to add a save button. So first thing we need to do in order to complete that task is I need to go ahead and click. And what we want to do is we want to add a table view controller to our storyboard. So I will go ahead and add that. And then while I need to select my table view, and what we're going to change it to is static cells, and we're going to go ahead and change it to a style of grouped. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is we need to go in our first table view selection. I'll go ahead and click on that. We need to change the number of rows to 1. So basically what we're going to have is we're going to have, we'll add a title for our table view section, and then we're going to have one cell, and we're going to have 5 different sections. 4 of those will, we're going to ask the user to enter the book information, and then the 5th one will go ahead and house the save button. So what I want to do next is I want to go ahead and click on my content view, and what we're going to do here is we're going to drag in a text field. So I will go ahead and drag that in and drop it into the content view, and then I will go ahead and set up some constraints. So we'll have 5, 5, 5, and 5, so we won't constrain it exactly to the margins of our table view, but it'll be pretty close. So I'll go ahead and add the 4 constraints. And then now what I want to do is I want to go ahead and this table view section, I want to go ahead and create 4 more copies of that. So I will just click on it, hit Command C, and then Command V 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I need to go in and update the information. So I'll click on Table View Section 1, and what I want to do for that header, it is going to be for my title. So I'll hit enter. The next table view section is going to be for the author. Enter. The next table view section is going to be for the genre. So I'll hit enter. The next table view section will be named length. And I'll hit enter. And then finally the last table view section, that's going to actually hold a button. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go in and delete the text field and then search for a button, and then I'll drop my button down into that table view section, and then I'm going to go ahead and change some attributes. Let me go ahead and change the font to about a 25. I'll add the text, I'll capitalize it to save. And then the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and add some constraints. So we're going to center it horizontally and vertically in my container. So I'll just go ahead and click on the add to constraints. So now we have everything in our constraint or in our table cell. So, or our table view. We have our 5 table view cells. So the next thing we need to do is we need to create a new Cocoa Touch class. So let me see here. I'll just right click, click on new file. It's a Cocoa Touch class. And what we need to do is we need to make sure that we go ahead and select a UI table view controller. And what it's going to be called is a book form table view controller. So I will go ahead and click on next and then click on create. And our code has been added. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we don't need most of this boilerplate code, so I'm just going to go ahead and delete all that. And I'll delete the comments in the view did load so we clean it up here a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back into my main storyboard. I'm going to click on my table view controller, and then I'm going to go ahead and make sure it's associated with my new table view controller class. So it's my book form table view controller. So what we're going to do next is we're going to go ahead and create outlets for our text fields and an action for our save button. So in order to do that, I'll just go ahead and click on my assistant editor. It brings up my class associated with that view. So what I want to do next is I want to go into my title, drill on down to find that text field. I'll click on Control, and then I'll click on drag over, and what we're going to do is we're going to call this our title text field. And you'll want to use the exact names that I'm using here because we're going to be copying the code that's currently in our view controller into our table view controller, as it's going to act exactly the same. So we'll scroll on down, find our next text box, drag on over, and what this is going to be, it's going to be our author text field. So I'll go ahead and connect that, and then okay, I don't think I had my, let me go ahead, and I think I might have messed that up. Okay, let me see. Okay, I thought I messed it up, but I guess I didn't. So, okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go down into our genre, and we're going to control drag, And what we're going to call this is our genre text field, and we'll connect. And then we'll finally have a length text field. So we've dragged over from our length. Make sure I spell that right. And we will go ahead and connect. Okay, and then finally we're going to go ahead and make sure we're dragging from our save. And we're going to go ahead and add an outlet. It's going to be a UI button outlet, and the name of it is going to be Save Button Tapped. So we'll go ahead and connect that. Okay, so we have all of our outlets and our actions in place. So we've gone ahead and we've completed step 1. So I will go ahead and end the video, and we will come talk to you later with step number 2.